Hi, I'm Cynthia Schiller. Please like and subscribe where we help and heal one day at a time. We're going to talk about the life of a narcissist um, and staying with them, or if you leave, what the difference will be. Narcissist, are they going to win in the end? What is their life all about? So right now, they're living the life during the love bombing stage. Everything's going great. And then they start to settle in to things where they start to devalue and how it destroys their life, but also yours. If you stay with them, it can become a very lonely life, a very empty life. And very controlled. You're going to lose your reality. You're not going to have the friends that you used to have. People are going to get fed up with the narcissist often. And I do have to give credit. Sometimes they get the supply off of helping people because they want to be seen as the best of the best, the most giving or things like that. But it's all a facade. When you're inside the relationship, they're doing things for other people. But what do they do for you? They take advantage of who you are. So in the end of their life, they're going to look back just based on what they have. What's their relationship with you like? Is it arguments all the time? Are they pushing you away? Are they going outside and cheating? What's that going to happen to that relationship? That'll probably be good at first too, but then it's going to be, the outside supply is going to want something. The narcissist just signed up for that, for quick fixes and adoration, just like with their spouse. It's the consistency to have somebody there to have their needs filled. But they take advantage of it to where it becomes a hurtful, unhealthy situation. So they're stuck in an unhealthy situation. If they did end up cheating, a lot of narcissists do cheat, maybe not throughout the whole relationship. And in a sense, it's kind of scarier. Not that you want them to cheat on you, but if it's with one person consistently, it's a little safer than quick fixes, a new one every month or a new one every year, because it can become dangerous with the STDs that are out there, pregnancies. And as a narcissist goes through their life, they're going to take and take and take from everybody in their life. They're going to demean people. People are going to start to avoid them, leave them. The ones that are trauma bonded will stay, but they're going to end up resenting those people because the way the narcissistic mind works is they know that they're unworthy of the love that we give. And they have, it's kind of like a subconscious thing that goes on in their mind where it feels just like if I praise you for something you didn't do, like an accomplishment somebody else did, I'm like, that's really great, I'm so proud of you. And you're like, thanks. But I like keep saying it, and I'm telling all my friends, I'm like, this person accomplished this, they did it on their own, like that's fantastic. And you're like, oh, now everybody know, like, I did not do that. And you start getting uncomfortable. So that's the same with the narcissist, where they're like, I don't deserve that love. And I hope that's a good analogy of how they process our love is, like, stop. I don't deserve that. I don't like it. Just like you wouldn't want me to keep telling people you made this great accomplishment that you never even attempted. And now you got to hold up that facade like, oh yeah, it was a challenge. And you're like, this is just weird. Like, I didn't do it and you're making me uncomfortable. But now that it's all built up, you are kind of caught up like, do I tell people? Now I got to look like an idiot, same with the narcissist. Like, do I tell people I'm a jerk? They kind of show us, so they don't have to tell us. But the isolation that they put us in is because they want to make sure that we don't focus on anything but them, that we're ready at the drop of a hat, that we can take care of their needs as soon as they want them. They're very selfish. They're going to take from us. They're going to cut us down. They're going to make us feel disoriented to where we don't know which end is up. We don't know what's expected of us because they do keep changing the rules on us. We're going to get frustrated. We're going to try to make things better, which is going to irritate them. And it's just going to perpetuate this narcissistic cycle. And then if they decide not to discard, they've discarded the relationship. They might stay in the house. So now you're just living with that empty meat suit that they talk about. You just have somebody in your house. Maybe every now and then they might give you attention, but a lot of times the things that they fell in love with you for, they're going to turn around and start hating you for it. It's going to be really confusing. They used to love the long talks. Now, they'll tell you just never shut up. They'll I don't know, they used to love getting gifts or things like that from you. Now it's like you're wasting money. Or I could have bought that myself. And, everything you're going to do is going to be turned around on you. It's just, they need to have chaos. They don't love themselves. They need to hide the pain that they are going through. And they're just unsure how to do it. So they lash out or avoid it altogether. The silent treatment, the ghosting. Sometimes they might just leave, not even tell you where they are. Sometimes it's for an excuse to go see the sidekick, or just to even do something. I don't know, let's say you guys agreed motorcycles were too dangerous, something like that. You guys just agreed to it. But then they decided, I want to do it. And I don't want to give them the opportunity to say no to me. So they might pick a fight so they can go do something against what you guys promised each other. Everything about them is self-serving. So they're going to end up in an even bigger lie than what they started out with. It's going to be exhausting for them to keep up. They're going to become more miserable. They're not going to be as good looking as they were early on, because as people age, sometimes as you get older, sometimes people do look better, but usually there is a drop off. And they're going to go through that drop off stage. They're going to look back, their spouse, that's not a comfortable situation. It's going to be a mess. It's not going to be how it should be, because it won't work on things. They're going to steal your soul. So you're not even the same person that they met. So now you guys become strangers. They're not who we thought they were. They changed us. We've picked up possibly some narcissistic traits, just because the more you're around someone, the more you become like them. Whether it's word patterns or, certain little phrases that you might say. There's just little things that we pick up from the people. That's why it's always good to surround yourself with, educated people, inspiring people, people who motivate you, challenge you, because we do become, they say we're like basically a product of the 5 most people that we hang out with, the ones that we have the most contact with, whether it's your spouse or your sister or whoever. We kind of mold each other. We grow, we pick up traits. Hopefully they're good, but since the narcissist is the one in power, we can pick up their traits easier than they pick up our traits. So they've knocked us down to where we try to get our power back to just match up with them. We don't have to be on top, but just to match up. And then you guys feed off each other's good traits. But they won't let us be in power. So they're not going to pick up our traits because they're going to see us as beneath them. Like I'm stronger than certain people. Like there's certain traits I'm not going to pick up. I'm not going to become a drug addict. I'm able to be in control of that. I see the bad in it. I'm not going to do it. I don't surround myself with that. I've seen people do it. I've been around people that have done it, but I'm strong enough to know I'm not even tempted. Like, I don't even want to do that. But if you're in a weakened state, it's easier to pick up their traits. So now you're a different person, and you're going to start to not like yourself as much. And that's the scary part, is you're going to be like, I'm arguing all the time because they take away our resource to communicate, to be ourselves. And when they look back on their lives, they're going to realize that they're alone, and they're going to start to get more bitter. They're going to start to lash out because of that. Are they going to treat the nursing home staff the right way? Are they going to be demanding? And then who's really going to want to help somebody who's demanding and cranky and irritable? As you get older, you don't have as many physical abilities that you did before, and they're going to need to rely on other people. And it's going to be a different state for them, to where they've always been in power, always in control of things. Or now they have to work around a caregiver's schedule or the nurse's schedule, instead of having a group of friends who are true friends. They're going to go through like a role change, and they've already been uncomfortable their whole life, and they've never figured out the right way to do things and feel what they need to feel. And that's the main thing, is you can go through life, you can go through the motions, but it's the emotions that make up our soul. And the emotions that they have are anger, rage, jealousy, envy, because they don't have it. It's so hard to understand, like, how does somebody not have empathy? Like, when you go through something, you remember how traumatic something was, and they don't look back. They don't like to do self-reflection. So if they do look back on their life, they're not going to really in depth look at the mistakes that they made. They might gloss over it. That thought might come in their head, and they're like, oh yeah, I was a jerk, but they'll let it go. They don't process, should I make amends, or how can I fix this? Or like, wow, I was a jerk, and they just let it go. They don't look back unless they do the Hoover. Hoovers are usually quick fixes to whatever the problem is. The new supply left. So now they're like, oh, they'll continue going throughout their life. Sometimes they do look back just for the quick fixes, but as they get older, their life is going to get worse. They might jump around to new supply, to new supply, to new supply, to just keep that lie that they're happy. So if something goes wrong, they don't fix it. They jump to a new supply. Often, since they don't want to take accountability, they'll make your life a living hell, in a sense, to get you to leave. And I did a video where there was one guy who I was dating, and he didn't tell me he was married, but then I found out, and he said he wanted to leave his wife, and he was purposely going to make her life miserable so we could be together, and we just ended the relationship. But I'm like, how can, like, you can't even sit down and talk to her, and you have kids together? And I just thought that was like so jerky that I'm like, I don't even want to get involved with this. But they're just so hurtful. Like, to make somebody's life a hell instead of just sitting down and talking to them. Granted, you got to go through the emotions of the breakup, but you didn't have to go through that hell on top of it, because a lot of us don't have, we have like a high tolerance for trying to work through things. So we'll last for a long time. longer than most. So we'll stick out this crummy relationship. They're trying to destroy it. We're trying to fight for it. We don't know they're trying to get us to leave. So we just hang on and hope. And the narcissist is definitely a different kind of creature where they just go through their lives taking and taking and taking. And if they become self-aware, they might have a few closer friends, but they're still empty inside. And I really do think that's an important point. The traits that we will pick up from them. Staying in a narcissistic relationship, in the end, is going to destroy you. You'll look back on all the things that you missed out on, all the things you couldn't do that you wanted, because they wouldn't budge. Everything had to be about them. Because in the beginning, they'll try to mirror us, and they'll tell us that they like certain things that we like. And then throughout the relationship, we're like, oh, remember when we said that? Can we do that now? And they'll take that away from us. One of the things that we said up front, this is what I love to do, because they lied to us. And we're going to miss out on a lot of our hopes and passions. We're going to become less effective at work or family life, because, we want to have this loving family. We want to, be bright and beautiful around our children, and inspiration to them. But we get knocked down so much that it's hard to maintain the right kind of attitude when we're sad or we're frustrated that we go through arguments or we're not acknowledged. We feel like we're talking to a wall, or they'll promise us things and back out of it. And for the narcissist, they've already isolated us. So they've missed out on a larger group of friends that we brought to add on to their friends. And their friendships often fall apart. Narcissists don't have true deep friendships when they're young. They have lots of friends. As people get older, friends do die for health reasons or accidents. So their network of friends is going to dwindle anyways. But they're also going to probably screw a lot of them over, or just, cut them down, talk like they're better than them, not give them proper communication where they're cutting them off, or everything has to be about the narcissist. And, there's over time, you're like, well, I'd rather hang out with somebody else. So they're going to miss out on their friends. They're probably going to alienate a lot of their family, or just not even have like a true connection with them. If they need care, are their children going to take them in? A lot of times we're trauma bonded, but sometimes that can be miserable. And then you have to deal with your child's spouse. Is that going to destroy that life or relationship, just because of all the tension and the need shifting to where, everybody in that your child's household mattered, and they were all balanced and it worked. But then everything has to be put onto the narcissist, all the needs. And then you're not even appreciated when you do it, especially as they get older and crankier and emptier. They fought so hard to get their life to where they wanted it, to this beautiful thing that they envisioned. And they didn't put the right kind of effort into it. It's just like if you want to be an Olympic star, you got to do the right kind of exercise. You got to eat the right kind of things. Just like for marathons, you want to win a marathon. I think you're supposed to eat like pasta the day before or something like that. It gives you the energy that you need. So it's not that you need to eat, I don't know, 800 calories of pasta, like a large meal of pasta. It's not the calories. It's part of it probably is. I don't know the amount that they do, but we'll say 800 calories, which is a lot of pasta. But if you eat 800 calories of sugar, that might throw your sugar balance off. You're going to crash. So they might see what they're supposed to do, but let's say they just saw the 800 calories. They didn't see the whole picture. It's like, no. I mean, that's part of it, but you got to do the whole thing the right way. Otherwise, it's not going to be effective. It can actually make it worse. So they'll see what they're supposed to do on a relationship, but they're not going to see the big picture. So, have a conversation. Have a healthy conversation. And what happened?